And we're back. Now I don't have any massive projects to do today. It's basically just I've got to do a lot of expansion. So here's my new Atmo suit docks that I've been putting in. There's a lot of them. That's 60, 20 per level. So that's 60 docks up there. I'm going to have to completely redo the ones down here and make them fit the new standards. But this here should tide me over in the interim. And of course, to do that, I also had to put in another oxygen production facility, which I'm about to fire up in a bit. I thought I'd cover how to fire one of these up just so, well, because I know this is one of those things that catches people out at first. So all I'm going to do here is, you'll notice I've got it all hooked up, but you'll notice there's actually high pressure gas vents on all of the outputs. So basically when I turn this on, it's just going to dump everything out into, well, the void. Now, before we do fire it up, I should probably check what the settings are because I have completely forgotten. 450 and 250. Is that 250? Is that all it is? Yeah, 450 and 250. Okay, put you there, make you a 450. And now I've got these basically power shutoffs. I could hook up automation to them, but that'll. Eh, I prefer to put the automation on the outside, and once it's up and running, I basically just disconnect them. So at the moment, this thing is just full of oxygen, of course, because that's what the atmosphere everywhere is. However, I've got the power wires here. Where is it? Yep, these power wires here. They're actually hooked up to the shutoff, so when I turn them on, it'll crank on the fans. Now, oh, yeah, I probably should have. Yeah, if that's above zero, I want to actually make this whole place a vacuum to start. So that should quickly vacuum that whole place out. Now, of course, to get this hooked up, I needed to bring in power. To get power, I needed another power brick, basically, or a plug socket. I tapped everything in the bottom one, and the top one was too far away, so I put in a second power brick up here, just so I could put in this. Also, I needed power for the Atmosuit docks. And I also then had to put in lots and lots of ventilation, of course, because, yeah, these things require lots of ventilation. And why is that? Okay, something's wrong. That is supposed to be venting out there. Why is that not venting? I've basically damaged all those hydrogen generators there. There's always something that goes wrong. Insulated gas pipe. Oh, that's causing confusion. You know what? We'll put you there. Yes. Yeah, we might want to make those a priority 6. Dope. Yeah, I basically wasted a whole bunch of damage on those hydrogen generators. It's a bit of gold amalgam. I've got plenty of that. Alright, come on, dump it all out. I want this place vacuumed as soon as possible. Just build it. Okay, there we go. That should quickly vacuum out that whole area. Okay, so I put in this second plug socket over here, and this plug socket is now currently feeding this. Also, I should probably point out, to make sure I had enough power to run all of these things, I was going around and super coolanting up everything. For example, I filled this loop up here with super coolant. I ripped out all the water. I've done it everywhere. In fact, it was pointed out to me in the comments that my doubling of efficiency was completely inaccurate. The reason being, because these generate twice as much heat, they generate twice as much power. And since I'm recycling that power back into the system with these batteries and all that, they advised me it was about, I'm saving myself, it's about 20% as much power draw as before. I haven't done the math on it, but I trust the people in the comments. Usually. So I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but thanks very much for pointing that out. It definitely makes me feel a lot better about my power grid, because I've switched out the water coolant in there. I've also switched it out on both my cool steam vents and the main cooling for my base, so that has saved me an awful lot of power. Just switching everything over to super coolant, and suddenly power needs are minuscule. Okay, now this sucker is just about ready to go on, but what we're going to do this is, if the pressure goes below 100 grams, you're going to go on. And now we're going to turn off these. Actually, yeah, we'll just turn off the fans entirely. And we're going to turn this on just for a second. This here powers the electrolyzers. So all we're going to do is turn that on for a split second. Let's turn on the gas overlay. Maybe we can get an eye on this when it's doing it. And you'll see the hydrogen is going to kind of float up to the top. And if we just give it a minute to, well, sort itself out, just let it keep pumping until the whole thing's pressurized. Yeah, that did not go as well as I was hoping. So all I'll do is I'll let some of this hydrogen get out of the way of the bottom pumps, and then I'll. Why is that staying there? That should really just float up. Come on, gas pressure. Never mind. All right, so that's that working, so we'll turn on these pumps for a second. Oh, you will be set to 250. Also, game's still running surprisingly smoothly. Oh, and one thing that I found really nice was the this oil well system up here. The crude oil actually comes out at less than 125 degrees. It's theoretically possible to put one of these together. I don't know if you can do it without diamond, but it's theoretically possible to put one of these together without steel. That steel pump is not actually going above 125, so theoretically I could use a gold amalgam pump in there and it should work. Though I'm not sure how well it would vent the heat. Just a fun little side note. 450. Copy you over here. Now we'll just turn on the pressure to these for a minute. No one. So seriously, no. Oh, if you're above 450, above 450, and if you're above 250, actually no, we'll leave you off. The reason I leave the top ones off is I want the hydrogen to actually just stay up there. So the more oxygen I pull out, the more the hydrogen should spread out. Okay, you know what? This is just too much. Too much faffing about. Instead, what we're going to do is they're set to 250, they're set to 450. Let's just turn this sucker on and let it do its job. Eventually, it'll sort it out. And we're basically waiting until the hydrogen completely occupies the top. Yeah, as you can see, it's not going very quickly. Turn off the pumps for a second, gas pumps for a second. Hopefully the hydrogen should all end up at the top. Ah. Yeah, this is why I normally just turn them on and let them rip. It normally is just faster. This whole messing about trying to micromanage them to get them to work just right. I leave this on for half a cycle. It'll sort itself out. We'll have nothing but hydrogen in the top. Once that happens, I can turn off the gas pumps and then just do what I want to do. Come on. You're almost good. Just pull out the last of that oxygen and you'll be fine. Okay, we'll give that another minute. But yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. Now, I've already ran the gas piping all the way over here, so I've hooked up 30 of the atmosuit docks. I've also went on a construction bringe and built 60 atmosuits because, you know, we're planning ahead right here. I believe I've hired another duplicant as well. Let's check on the consumables. Yes, we have 7 new recruits so far. So we're flying up. Actually, have I given them priorities yet? Where is number 7? Number 7, you will be operating. Oh, number 6 also has to be set to operate. Scheduling, yeah, you know what, let's move those around a bit. We don't want them all on one shift. Actually, schedule 8 is completely free. Excellent. 5, 6, and 7. Come on. New recruit 6 and new recruit 7. I'm going to have to go all the way down again. You think this would be slightly more intuitive? Then I can start increasing the shift size. In fact, I can increase the scheduling to 10 dupes per shift because of the bathrooms we've got set up. Slowly but surely grinding our way up. Now, how's this looking right about now? Okay, so this has actually sorted itself out. Excellent. We'll turn off the electrolyzers for a second. Alright, come on, electrolyzers. Alright, they've stopped. And now we've got this all sorted. And based on previous experience, this should work just perfectly from now on, so long as I don't do anything too crazy. But what I do need to do is get rid of all these high pressure gas vents. You can go. You can go. You can go. Why are you there? I'm not even sure why you're there, but you know what? You're going to go too. Oh yeah, you're on that. So that's gone, that's gone. This, however, slightly different. I want to plug this into the hydrogen line we've got going up to the top of the map. This line here carries up all the hydrogen from all of the hydrogen generation that's been going on. So we'll just feed it into the white end. That should do it. Though I may have to actually feed it in via the green end. I'd rather not, but whatever. Now, yeah, the overflow, I have actually put in an overflow on this so that it'll pop it into the hydrogen generators just in case anything goes wrong. I'm beginning to think I would have been better off making a dedicated hydrogen room, a hydrogen generation room. But I've filled this one with, see these radiant pipes? I made them out of steel because it's a short run and it's cheap. So any hydrogen coming in here will be 70 degrees tops, so it should help drain any heat out of this area if these are used. And that means that thing is basically self-regulating in terms of temperature. Now, everything's set up there, everything's set up there, and all I'm doing for these gas pipes is I'm actually running them straight through 10 of the atmosuit docks. That's it. Straight through 10 of the atmosuit docks, out the other side. Any excess will keep going on. Considering how reliable these are, The Rodriguez electrolyzers just don't mess up, so I don't have to worry about them shutting off. The only thing that would kill me would be power outages, but even if the power was lost to this, it should still not mess up the gas pressures, meaning the moment I restore power, I'm good to go. So, now we've got all that done. Actually, is it time to set this? Yeah, I think it's time to just fire this up and start filling the atmosphere ducts. Yeah. So, turn it on. Yeah. Now, the only thing I want to really keep an eye on here is the hydrogen. I want to make sure it feeds onto the line and we don't get any backups. Yeah, yeah, no, they just split it. That's grand. All right. Oxygen's flowing, everything's flowing. And now let's make sure this thing functions forever. So let's just deconstruct the automation. That's why I put in those power shutoffs. Instead of running automation wires through these, I run the automation wires through these power shutoffs. This way I can dismantle everything from the outside, and this shouldn't interfere with it at all. Yeah, perfect. Just keeps going as normal. Now, wait a minute. Why has that stopped? Oh, yeah, I have no power going to those. Yeah, got distracted halfway through. Okay, so I am just going to, well, be lazy about this, and I am going to run, actually, you know what? I could do a whole one along the bottom, but I really don't care, even if it's a little bit ugly. That's 2.4 kilowatts right there of potential draw, but that would mean to draw 2.4 kilowatts, every single atmosuit dock would have to be charging at the same time, which seems really, really, really improbable, like super improbable. There we go. And I can hook up the atmosuit docks. Oh, before we do that, clearance vacancy only. Suited duplicates may pass only if there's a reveal suit. Clearance always permitted. Yeah, this is what confuses me. You see that clearance vacancy only, and you think that's what it's set to. It's not. It's clearance always permitted. This is its current status. Suited duplicants may pass even if there is no room to store their suit. What that means is if they come in and the docks are already full, they'll just dump their suit on the ground like a slob. They were basically born in a barn. So we click that button and now it's clearance vacancy only. So that means they won't actually try and enter here unless there's room for their suit to be dropped off. And just do the same to all of them. Vacancy only, vacancy only, vacancy only. Okay, excellent. All right. Now we need to drop off atmosuits, which I think I should probably do off screen because seriously, dropping off, I'm going to need at least 30 atmosuit docks here to start. I'm also going to need to set up a second electrolyzer setup so I can do the other 30 atmosuit docks. Then, actually, no, I've got the suits already. After that, we're going to be looking at power. I have to upgrade an awful lot of power. Namely, I've got a sour gas boiler in mind. I've stolen a wonderful idea from someone else, just modified it slightly for my own ends. The reason being, I already have my petroleum pre-boiled. And since my petroleum's pre-boiled, I don't have to care. I mean, the problem with doing a natural gas boiler directly from crude is the crude turns into petroleum at some point, and when it does, will crack pipes. Unless you're using, say, 1 kilo per second in the pipes, it's going to crack them. So it makes it much more difficult and usually much bulkier. So since I'm starting with straight petroleum, I'm just going to boil directly from petroleum. Namely because that petroleum boiler has been working now for, well over 1,000 cycles, and I haven't had any problems with it in the last 1,000. So I think I'm good to go on that front. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that should be all of those up and running. Well, starting to fill at least. Wow, okay, that is an enormous amount of oxygen. I should probably check up the reports later just to see how much my oxygen production spiked at this moment, but what I'm more concerned about is how's my actual power levels. Ah, still plenty fine. We have loads of energy left in the bank. And gas-wise, yeah. Oh, one thing I did about the natural gas, I was having a minor issue with the top natural gas geyser. Sometimes if the oil wells down the bottom of the map were vented, Jesus, I forgot how high up this was. Sometimes if the oil wells at the bottom of the map were vented, this would sometimes overpressurize, so it was actually losing natural gas. So to get around that, I just stuck in a gas reservoir. I've seriously been considering putting in two just to be on the safe side, and oh, I forgot to wall that in. Yeah, I'll wall that in now, actually. Eh, actually, yeah, just about there. That just keeps all the heat in as well. But that just means I have a little bit of a backup tank in case things are venting at the same time. And yeah, this little piece of modern art here, that was me just testing the different pipes. I wanted to see what their melting points were and a few different things. So yeah, you can just ignore that. That was just information gathering. Now, where were we? Okay. I basically need to do this again. I need to build a second one of these, another hydrogen generator, run off a whole bunch of junk, and I'll probably hook it up somewhere over. Actually, yeah, if I hook it up over here, I'm not even sure how I'm going to get all the gas piping out. There's just so much piping that needs to go in. Like I need to bring in the water as well. For example, this one here is running off this water pipe, so I need to bring in water, bring out oxygen, hydrogen, hook it up to the main grid, do a whole bunch of other stuff, and I need to bring power over to it, means I need to hook it up to this battery. So maybe I'll do it over here somewhere. I'm trying to avoid killing all these plants. I have about 150 pinch of peppernut plants left, which means, assuming I could harvest them all perfectly in time, I could support about 75 duplicants on barbecue. Well, assuming I have the meat, but that's a whole other question. So right now, if I keep all of these alive, I should be able to support about 70 dupes on barbecue, assuming I can produce the meat, of course, which I kind of want to do. That's a really nice calorie bonus, each one of those. Oh, another thing that was brought up to me was these gas pipes over here. You'll notice they're made of insulation. I built pipes inside my base out of insulation for no reason. That was just, oh, so dumb. So dumb. But yes, I will fix that. Oh, one last thing. Another thing I'm going to try actually is I realized I'm being kind of a wuss about their oxygen requirements. By that I mean, well, uh, these duplicants basically are going to get high pressured. I'm switching to high pressure gas vents, namely because I've been doing the math on how much oxygen I'm going to have to pump in here, and it's basically somewhere about over 6 kilos per second. Easily, even with diver's lung and everything like that, I'm going to need to dump in so much oxygen, it's ridiculous. So at this point, I don't think I can actually get the oxygen in fast enough. If I've only 2 kilos of pressure in an area, say here, 25 dupes will consume 2.5 kilos of pressure. I won't actually be able to flood oxygen in fast enough to keep them all oxygenated. So I've just decided high pressure gas vents. Now, will this pop the dupes' eardrums? Yes. Yes, it's totally going to pop their eardrums. That will be uncomfortable and will increase their stress levels. Oh, God, that's bright. However, that will not be that big of a deal, I don't think. The reason I'm saying it's not going to be that big of a deal is plants. Those buddy bud plants that give off floral germs or whatever it's called, yeah, that's about a 20% bonus. I'll have to find someone who's been exposed. Have you been exposed, Tinkerdug? Smelled flowers, minus 5% stress changes cycle. It'll help counteract some of the stress anyway, so I'm going to expose the whole base to floral germs. Another good reason not to get people with allergies. Now, that should allow me to, well, oh, new printables. Do we have a diver's lung? Simple taste. Yeah, that's actually one of the harder things right now is getting all the diver's lung dupes. Okay. Oh, and I believe all the critters on the entire map now are now here. I've eventually harvested, I think I've harvested all the eggs, and it's been long enough that every single egg ever dropped ever since in the last 200 cycles has ended up dumped over here. In fact, I've even printed shine nymph eggs and pufflet eggs, and they automatically get dumped over here, which I find very convenient. Though I will have to set up an auto sweeper probably to harvest all the eggshells. There's got to be a lot of eggshells there. Actually, there's meat, everything. You know what? I will do all of that off screen as well. That's just mind-numbing stuff. Now I'm almost up to 10 dupes in training. Once they hit their maximum skills, I think a few of them already have. New recruit 1, actually you're ready to be almost promoted. Actually, I'll give you 2 more skill points. I might just make you another cook. I need a second cook because I cannot keep up with my cooking demands. I've got more than enough meat to make more barbecue, and I don't actually have... Where's ingredients? Yes, I have cooking ingredients? What? Oh, I have lots of pinch of pepper nuts. So I could actually make more barbecue. I just don't, literally my cook can't keep up. They're working flat out, Dog's Buddy here. And it's not like they're slow. They cook a meal really fast. It turns out the tinkering skill, as far as I can tell, where is it? Yeah, their tinkering skill is what determines how fast they cook. Which means I should probably actually give them some tinkering skill points, or dump them into some of the tinkering skills, the electrical engineering, just to improve their cooking speed. But I'll worry about that later. Yeah, for the time being, though, that's just a general gist of what we're up to. Lots of buddy bud plants and buddy bud seeds. Copy. You totally didn't stick, did you? Buddy bud. Yeah, there we go. Why did you not plant? Okay. Copy. Okay, I definitely can't hire anyone with allergies now. My whole base is going to be saturated in that. There's not really much else to do, bar I have to stick down another one of these and plug it in somehow. So I'm just going to skip forward in time a bit until I'm ready to hook up another one. And I may actually allow my dupes to come in here. I'm going to have to set up some shipping rails to take all this junk out of here automatically. No point wasting any free meat and eggshells. Anyway, back to you in a wee bit. Okay, so I took this design down here. The the same Rodriguez electrolyzer setup, and I built a second one up here. Same thing feeds onto the hydrogen line, and this is all dumping into the atmo suit docks. I am producing an absolutely ridiculous amount of oxygen about now. I think I'm up to about 6,000 kilos. What's the report say? Oxygen generation 4,500 kilos. Yep. Okay, close enough. I think what were we producing before I started all this? We were at about 20k. Yeah, 20,000 kilos. Actually, a little bit less before we actually got into this. And now we're up to something stupidly high. 4,500 kilos. A lot of oxygen. Now, of course, once these have filled up the suits, you can see not all the racks are full yet, but once they're all full, we should actually slow down on the oxygen production. Now, there's a few things I wanted to do. Oh, yes, I did a quick look up on the comments. It's really hard to search YouTube comments. I swear, they give you no real way of searching anything. I literally have to go into videos and just browse the comments. But it was actually You Plain Suck was the person's name who advised me that the supercoolant loops were saving me that much power. Basically, you reclaim 89% of the power you put into a heat deletion device if you're using supercoolant to actually do the cooling. So this now gives me back 89% of the power I put in, which is quite handy. Before with water, you're just getting 44% back. Now I haven't checked the numbers, but they advise me that I'm saving 5 times as much energy, which yeah, that's actually excellent. Now, one thing I forgot to do was accidents are going to happen. Yes, so duplicants are going to have accidents, and because I'm going to trap them somewhere. So what I want to do here is actually put in a little uh, accident removal system. Same as before, mesh tiles here that will actually allow, anytime they change their suits if they have an accident, the polluted water will just drop straight down here. I'll catch it in a little tank and then I'll dump that over into the sewage system. Should just be a quick way to get rid of it. Now, yeah, so we'll put a gas pump there. Oh. Actually, now what do I want to use for? Do I want to use a airflow tile? Actually, I might want to use an airflow tile. That might be an idea. If I use an, oh no, airflow tile will block light or block decor. Actually, right here, that doesn't matter. It is a decor floor. Okay, and stick a little deodorizer on top of that. Perfect. Yeah, that should work. And then we just run that over and plug that directly into the sewage system. If I can remember which line it's on. It's on... Damn, the base is getting a little bit large. This is the sewage line, so it's on the fire pole. I might actually slow this down when I'm actually no slow downs. We're going to leave it on max speed. Okay, so that should actually get rid of that. Well, assuming I power it, of course. Yeah, considering how infrequently those suits are going to be used. Those suits only draw power when the dupes actually drop them back, and even only then for about 5 to 10 seconds. There's no way I can overload that wire. So that will get rid of any accidents that pop down there. Simple, efficient, and we got a deodorizer there just in case any of that polluted water decides to off-gas just before it gets dumped into the pipe. Nice. Now, another idea was from Barshut, S-H-T-O-Y or Shutoyer? Okay, Barshatoyer, I have no idea. But have you thought about running some of your dupes in hamster wheels and plugging that into the grid? And that seems like a really smart idea. I'm currently burning through more power than I should be burning through because I'm producing just way more oxygen than I need right now. I've got to fill up all these docks. So why not just recycle some of the power from these wheels? Simple thing to do here would be just grab a large power brick or a large transformer and okay. First, maybe get rid of these. And then we'll put in a power wire, conductive wire. Now each one gives 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So it's 200. So let's say I have one down here. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 again. I think that's where it's going to plug in. Yeah. We also want to deconstruct these old wires. Get rid of you. And of course no one can get in there, so I should probably... Oh god, that's too many permissions to change. This one, yeah, we'll just make that unlocked. They can hop across the top. It won't be that inconvenient for them. Now, what are we going to do here? Ah, yes, power. Large power transformers. Oh, I'm going to need to bring basically... Yeah, that's something I've been realizing. If you're going to start splitting your electrical grid, there's no way to actually use bridges with the thicker conductive wire. So that means you can't have two large networks cross over each other. You can't bridge over one of these wires with another heavy wire. So I'm not sure what you're going to be able to do about that. I'm going to have to really organize my wiring very well or I'm going to get in trouble. That's it. Yeah, we're going to have to counteract the enormous negative decor this is going to generate as well. And yep, they've got those bridges in place. This should hopefully help counteract some of the power loss I'm going to experience. The problem at the moment is I am just drawing way too much power. Well, not way too much power. My grid is still holding up quite nicely. Let's check the wire here. But you'll see there, yeah, we're pretty high. I'm surprised we haven't actually overloaded. The reason we're not overloading is most of that potential power draw is from the transit axis tubes. But I have actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 7. So I'm running about 6 gas pumps here constantly, 6 gas pumps up here constantly. Each one of those is 250 watts almost. So you're getting about 3 kilowatts of extra draw I've just thrown onto the network, which is kind of a lot. But once everything pressurizes and stabilizes, we should be good to go. Actually, let's do a quick check on power. This is basically my big battery. If this is a 250, that means I'm not actually spending more than I'm making. But right now I've burned through some of my reserves, so I am actually consuming far more power than I'm actually making. Not the best, but I'm not worried. I have a lot of power to spare. A lot. Now, oh, what are they doing? Oh, okay, so they get on, and then once the grid is charged, they get off. And soon yeah. So every time they actually catch up with the power draw, they're turning this off. That's not ideal. I'm actually doing this for training purposes. You know what? No, you all got to go. Deconstruct. A lot of you. No need. You're a waste of... You're actually just eating into my training time. Oops. Never mind. Still good to know, though. I'm just more concerned right now about actually getting all the dupes trained up. That's really more important to me. I just want to get them all actually functional and helping out. All right, come on, sweep all that junk up. Oh, and that can go as well. Then once that's done, I have to rechange the door permissions. Otherwise, my regular dupes are going to get in there and start causing a mess. Okay, well, we tried that. Didn't work. Well, it kind of did work, but it's just it was going to cause intermittent operation, and I really didn't want that. I want my dupes to get on the wheel and just stay on the wheel. Now, oh yeah, and it was Arnon Jr. who pointed out about the gas pipes here. These ones being all made out of insulation. I'll replace them later, but for the time being, I've got other more important fish to fry. Lumen Obscura was pointing out for the high pressure gas vents, I could put in shutoffs for them so that they... why is that pressure? Oh, actually, that's kind of convenient. Lumen Obscura was pointing out that if I put in high pressure gas vents, he said, don't worry about the popped eardrums. Think of the decor. You don't need eardrums if your bedroom is that pretty. But it turns out I do have to put in some sort of control here. Otherwise, I'm going to be stifling the buddy buds. I'd prefer to keep them alive. It's a minus 5% stress reduction. It helps counteract the plus 20% stress they're getting from the popped eardrums. So I need to keep the pressure below 10 kilos. That shouldn't be too hard-ish. Gas shut off? Yeah, gas shut off. Put one there. You know what? Let's just deconstruct all of these to start so we can make this cleaner. Yeah. I'll just have to put in a little bit of flow control to make sure that this tail doesn't overpressurize above 10 kilos. Then we should be fine. Yeah, gas shut off. Yeah, one there'll do fine. One there. Yeah. Now, I will of course have to hook up power to those, but as we know, these things won't consume much power, so I should be fine. Power. Yeah, we're going to need, what, 3 per floor? No, this one can do this one. And that one. Yeah, spread out the load. Grab me some automation sensors there. This should be fairly straightforward. Where do you want it? Yeah, down here's grand. Actually, that can handle... yeah, it can handle an awful lot of them, so we'll just have one of these actually feed into them. Yeah, we'll set it to something like 9 kilos. If the pressure is below 9 kilos, it'll keep them all active. If the pressure is below 9... Okay, I probably should actually add in high pressure gas vents. Never mind. There's always something I'm going to forget. It's just a guarantee. And there we go, wasting even more plastic. Oh yeah, I resumed plastic production. I decided I wanted to stockpile the stuff. It does give a 50% run bonus, and later on I'm going to be worried more about getting out to the wild food and harvesting it quicker, so I'll probably replace a whole bunch of tiles with plastic ones just to increase movement speed. The inside of the base is still remaining strictly diamond, though I still haven't come up with an idea of how I'm going to name that. Now, why is that no gas output? There we go. Everything operational. Yeah. Back to full progress. Actually, let's just have a quick look at this gas piping. Dear Lord. Oh, my hydrogen's backed up. Why is my hydrogen backed up? Oh, we're actually full. Damn, okay, we got 10 tons of hydrogen in the bank. Where's my rockets? They're probably off doing something. Actually, we'll clean out these while we're at it. This is just... That's basically all my expansion needs taken care of for a while. I will not have the power to support the amount of dupes I've currently got the infrastructure for, but that's next on the agenda. It's just I needed this infrastructure in place to actually allow the dupes I'm currently hiring to actually be functional or useful in any way, shape, or form. And what's going on? Oh, damn it, I forgot to hook up the power back up to these. And why am I making that out of copper? That is a complete waste. I need that copper just in case I need to make another 100 atmo suits. Done, 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 done. Oh, now, Jason C was saying, why don't I just put a horizontal door at the end? It'll add airflow. And to that I say, yes, that's actually a really good idea. If I put say, a pneumatic door, what I can do is use that sort of as a floor almost. I can't put statues on it, but instead of using airflow tiles, I could just put a pneumatic door right here. And I could basically make a sort of a CO2 corridor all the way down this side and just use the pneumatic doors. It'll also give my dupes another access layer if I wanted to. Just that the CO2 do go down the outside. I'm not going to do that just yet, but I think it might be useful. You're all... You know what? I don't need any of that. I'm letting my fish die off. I got rid of the egg recycling section, so now I think we're down to like one pacu. The rest have all died from a population of 200 down to one. I wanted to do this as legitimately as possible, and I always figured that those were a bit on the edge, so to speak, of what was considered legal. Cooling loop is actually doing a wonderful job. It's basically draining all the heat out of this area, and even though I've just dumped in a absolute metric ton of hot oxygen, it's actually managed to keep the place nice and actually balmy and livable. The buddy buds haven't stifled. Oh, and dog's body here. That's what I wanted to do. Dog's body is our primary cook, and I have not actually given them any tinkering education, and they have very low morale requirements, so there we go. Morale expectation 16 now, still pathetically low, but that should hopefully improve their cooking speed by 6. Well, they're currently on about 20, so up to 26 instead. And priorities as well. I want to actually change them to full-time cooking. Don't care about that. We just want cook, cook, cook all the way. I want them spending all their time on the grill because cooking is probably the most important thing right now. I want to try and eat through that stockpile of pepper nuts we've got going on. Oh, and yeah, in here, this thing seems to have glitched out entirely on what it's actually showing. For example, you can see there's lots of stuff stored there. Like there's over 2 million calories of barbecue in one of the stacks. Actually, there's 5 million in another. There's a lot of barbecue there. The thing is, the game just doesn't seem to be displaying them. I don't know if it has a problem because they're coming in from the side and it's a one-tile high drop-off area, or they're just being hidden behind the conveyor chute. I think it's just they're hidden behind the conveyor chute, but not sure. Maybe if I turn on shipping and turn it off again. No. Sometimes that's a thing you can do with the displays to actually get them to display correctly. Hey, one last thing I just want to get done here. Nope. Where were we? This. I want to actually sort this mess out. Sweep only. Dear Lord, I can't actually see what's going on there. Is there a way to turn that off? No, that doesn't help. Yeah, I'm not really sure there's anything I can do to stop that horrible glowy light from all the shine bugs. Let's set sweep only. Yep. Then we're going to crack in here and I'm going to actually make a few changes. I just want this place to be automated so that I don't have to do anything. Now, the first thing I'm going to need to do is put in a quick shipping auto sweeper, and no, we don't want niobium. We'll go with gold. It's plentiful. And leave it to about there. Yeah, there should be fine. Then we want to put the other one about there. Alright, so put 2 critter feeders in the middle. For food wise, give me a critter lure. We'll put one there. That's going to replace whatever that's doing. Nope, that's doing. Yeah, that's frostfright. And we'll just put a shipping loader in the middle. This just allows me to get rid of all the meat and eggshells out of here. I'm basically going to feed it into the... Wait, nope, that's niobium as well. We're just going to go with gold. No point wasting the good stuff. Yeah, there's fine. Can both of those hit it? Oh, yeah, I still have to dismantle the phosphorite one. But this area here will basically just be my wild food storage area. Nope. Phosphorite. 6. What the? Is that a long-haired slickster? What are you doing there? They consume oxygen. No, 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 no. You need to go. Critter eggs. What have we got down here? How did I... Did I? Long-haired larvae. Okay. Yeah, that was a mistake. Long hairs need to be taken to the egg evolution chamber. Oh, there they go. Yes, they're ready to be evolved right now. That's the phosphorite in. Demolish this. Then what I can do is just put in another loader. All meat that comes out of here and all eggshells will all be transported automatically over into my, well, into the area they're supposed to go to, and I will no longer have to worry about them. Critter lure. Did I hit deconstruct? No. Shipping rails. Gold. Iron ore. You know what? Iron ore's fine. Now, where is the actual feed on? Okay, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. And then we just set that to not shine nymph, not puff, not shine bug. There we go. Dear Lord, the amount of junk in this area is getting kind of out of control. Raw meat. Yes, thank you very much. And we're also going to want organics. The fact that eggshells are under organics, I know it now, but that just seemed very unintuitive when I first started. And power. Actually, where's the power coming from? Okay, 1.5 kilowatt draw. Yeah, we can throw this on there. That should be fine. Yep, and throw in one more auto sweeper. Right about there, was it we decided? Yep. Okay, that takes care of all of that. Once that's all built up, I can seal this area off and never go in here again. And it will just provide meat and eggshells into the rest of the colony. Actually, you know what? I don't want these doors here. They're going to actually inhibit the breeding of the critters. If the critters are inside the door, like those flying ones, if they stand around inside the door for a bit, it'll actually cause them to classify themselves as confined, and it'll reduce their egg drop rate. Probably unlikely to stop them reproducing before they die, but I'd rather not. I'd rather prevent it from happening now. Actually, yeah, we're going to sweep up all the junk in here as well. Yes, I know there is a bunch of eggs, but all those eggs should be automatically dropped off in here. Oh, that's the theory. Actually, let's make that a level 6 just to make sure it carries through. That'll clean up that whole area. Then once that's done, I can actually lock the doors. Now, 1 second. Okay, all nice and clean. I've set this back to sweep just in case, or to auto-collect just in case any more eggs come out of the gate. That way I can just dump them all over here. There's actually quite a nice population of free meat right there. Also, I can remove the... I should probably remove the shine bugs. They're not actually helpful. I'm supposed to get the eggshells out of them, but I don't really need any more steel. Or do I? I actually haven't even thought about steel in a long time. Miscellaneous. Nope, nope, nope. Manufactured materials. Steel, 165 tons. Yeah, actually, we're good on steel for a while. Though I'm going to need a whole bunch more steel when I start getting into... buggery. Yeah, we don't want any of you guys going in there. We're going to lock that. Yeah, I've got actual decent dupes wasting time running on the wheel. Oops. I want you all out of there. Go on, get out. Actually, you know what? It'll sort itself out in a cycle or two. It'll be fine. How's our oxygen production? Okay, I think we finally actually topped up. We're up to 9 kilos of pressure up here, but I'm not sure how well that's translating to the rest of the base. Oh yeah, it's pretty good actually. Yeah, that will work. Excellent. Next up. It was pointed out to me by Pourquoi Pas that I had all of these foods still selected as edible by the dupes. I'm pretty much going to trash all of those anyway, so I left them all unticked, and now it's nice and clean. The only things they can eat are, well, these top-level foods. Actually, I'm going to get rid of pepper bread. Do I have any left? I'm not going to make any more pepper bread, so that can go as well. So that means all my dupes are only going to be able to eat. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll just leave that tick. It doesn't really make a difference. But all my dupes can only eat these three items. That's all I'm going to be serving anyone, namely because I can get them water free. That's it. Now I have to pick a location for the actual sour gas boiler. I'm probably going to do it somewhere around here. I've got lots of cored out space already, and I can deconstruct the bricks and keep a nice vacuum. But then I'm going to need to put in a ginormous power plant. The problem I'm looking at is I got a lot of plants up here. I don't want to place a power plant in here. I could place it in probably about there, but it might be too small of an area. But I'm thinking right about here, I could place in quite a big one. There's not many plants in the area, bar a few of these reed fiber, and I can start ripping up the reed fiber now. I've got enough of all the materials I need. But that's about the only place I've got that's not got something in it that I want to keep. Like all over here is just full of lots of tasty, tasty plants. Over here, same thing, though I am going to have to start heating this area to get these plants active. They're in too cold an area. The only other options are that that chunk there, or after that, I'm looking at space, which I'm going to be cramming full of stuff. I'm going to be relying on regolith for a lot of my food, so I'm going to have to expand regolith harvesting insanely large. Oh, and there's my super coolant tank, which reminds me I should make more super coolant. Anyway, a few points being, I'd like to thank everyone who helped out with the comments, who just basically pointed out some of the mistakes I made and gave me some of the ideas for some of the efficiencies I'm going to come up with. One of them is I'm going to actually start recycling my polluted dirt. The polluted dirt that comes out of here, it actually out of these things, that off gases, and I can use that as oxygen. So that'll allow me to support about another 4 or 5, 3 or 4 dupes, maybe 5 if I'm lucky. So it's a nice little tip, actually. That'll help me a little bit with my oxygen production. I've also got a polluted oxygen vent down here that I'm going to tap into, but this is all going to be after I sort power. For right now, I really need to get my power sorted out. I think I'm still good on the power front. Yeah, once that hydrogen kicked in, the hydrogen backed up, I basically am now swimming in power. So, oh, yes, I've got another base loving video coming up. I've got 3 new maps I want to have a look at and share. I usually try and get them out on a Friday just because it's nice to have a happy base map on a Friday. But big thanks to the people involved. That'll be up tomorrow. For the time being, I hope you enjoyed and good luck.